Good evening, everyone. It is 1834, and yes, we're back in Scotland. And yes, we're back near the Bridge of Orchy. And yes, it's a bit midgy. But there's a good reason. I finished the last trip, which I still haven't uploaded on YouTube. And I was back 5 or 6 days. And then we've had to come back up because someone's lost a dog near Steel Falls, which is not far from Ben Nevis, to the foot of Ben Nevis. Nevis Gorge, I think it's called, something like that. Anyway, so they asked for our help, but when they asked for our help, they asked for it on the eve of the last trip, and I was already prepared to come up and start searching near the Glen Kinglass area. So I was all packed for that trip, which was going to be a hot trip because I knew the weather was going to be hot. So I was like ummed, and then on the last day, as you'll see, I tried to get up, but the weather was appalling. Then I got home, and I thought to myself, I'd like to help. They have asked, and I said I would if I could. So, and I don't mind coming to Scotland. Rebel, not near that fence. It's electrified, that fence. You'll soon learn. So I had two choices. Kind of say, look, I'm sorry, I can't do it, which is not in my character, or get back home, have a short rest, sort kit out, and prepare for this one, which could possibly be off and on wet. So, not too far, you two. It's very muggy today. I've left my area in the Midlands of the UK, and it is near 30 degrees. And very, very hot. And we've come up here, and when we got here, it was about 20 degrees. It's about 16, 17 now. But it's still got a muggy feeling to it. We've pitched, believe it or not far from the car park, because I booked the hut for 4 days, use it as emergency stop, and I think I might need it tomorrow, of all days. That was good planning, wasn't it? Because they're predicting heavy rain. So I couldn't get it tonight because it was pre-booked. So I've come up today purposely because tomorrow's supposed to be a wet one, and I didn't fancy driving in the rain. So I thought I'd get up here, pitch somewhere within range of the hut, and then tomorrow I can use the hut. I don't know if I'm bouncing you around because I'm holding the camera with one hand. Rogue, not too far. So we got up, I set off about 8 o'clock in the morning. We got here about 4:30, had to sort kit out and get change and things like that. So I thought to myself, do I hike far? No, not really. I've done all that hiking over that way, towards the plantation and all that. So I thought, let's get something nearer. And I saw the guy with his child that was using the hut tonight. And I told him I was be using the hut tomorrow, and we had a laugh and joke. And I thought I don't want to go up that way and hassle them, because they know we were chatting, and they know I'm going to be using the hut. I want them to feel they're forced to leave the hut early. So I thought, let's not go too far. So I pitched my tent. I'll show you where it's pitched. I think I showed you a bit on the intro. It's been hectic. Out, you two! Out! Out! It's bog there. Out! 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 They're being naughty because they've been in the car all day. Out! Oh, that'll put you off. Oh, I think there's some rain there. We've had to turn round because he went swimming. And that's the last thing I want, to put in a nice dry tent. So I'm hoping it'll blow over. And as I'm chatting to you and talking about all these things, it started to spit on this side. So we're getting a light drizzle. Yeah, they've been in the car for 8 hours on a hot day. And yesterday they were in the house most of the day because it was 30 degrees. So they've got too much energy, and this is what males are like when they've got too much energy. They become disruptive and a pain in the backside, but I'll soon sort that out, don't you? No, no, no. Right. I had to calm them down. The excitement's going to the head, jumping in rivers and acting like idiots and trying to cause chaos. As I say, that's what happens with males. If you pen them in too long, they start acting up and start being stupid. So what you do is you stop it and make sure they understand. Sit. Calm down. That's why they're so good for working. Once they burn that energy off, they're brilliant for it. Yeah, so the rain has stopped. It was starting, and I think it's probably mountain mist, to be honest. So that's the whole point of taking them out, is walk them, give them some exercise, but I want it controlled. I don't want it carrying off into the tent. Now you see why I drive at night. Night, they're normally asleep. During the day, we hike, even if it's to the plantation or somewhere else. So they burn all that energy off, and by the time we settle down, they're ready for night again. But because we haven't done anything today, because we've been driving, they've got too much energy. So yeah, going back to what I'm helping for at this time. Well, it was by chance someone sent me a message saying, can you help so-and-so? And I was like, I didn't know nothing about this or that or whatever it was. So I sent the person a message and said, I'm sorry, I'm lost, I don't know what you're on about. And they said, oh, there's a golden retriever missing near Steel Falls. And the dog is like a support or therapy dog for someone that suffers from epilepsy. It kind of not gives them trigger warnings or anything like that. It's something like it helps them get through the problems, you know. It seems to know how to behave, the dog does, around the person or something. I'm sorry, I don't know much about support or therapy dogs, so I cannot state what they actually do, you know what I mean? That's what I've seen on telly or something like that. So I said, like, well, I'm on a search at the moment. Well, I'm going on a search at the moment. But if I can help, I will. But I prefer the people to ask me so that I don't butt in or get involved in something that's nothing to do with me. And that person must have sent a message to the owner, because the owner then sent a message to me about an hour later saying, yeah, I hear you're up in Scotland and doing some searching. And yeah, I've lost my dog, and it's my daughter's support or therapy dog. So I was like, well, I'm setting off on a search within 24 hours, which is pre-planned, but I'll see what I can do on the end of that search. And that was the last search that I was just been on. And sadly, I tried to get up. The weather was so bad. So I got home, and as I say, and you're like, well, I don't want to let them down. And they've been really good, you know, they're not pushed or anything like that. So it makes you even feel worse, doesn't it, when they don't push too much, you know what I mean? Because you can see they're struggling. They've had a lot of people go up looking for the dog. Now, the dog's been missing for about 4 weeks, but that sounds crazy, doesn't it? But let's be honest, dogs go missing for months sometimes. You hear the stories of dogs going missing for a good 6-7 months. Some even longer. But and the weather's not too bad, even with heavy rain. There's so many places for a dog to hide up there and take shelter. There's food, abundant food. I checked, there's rabbits as well as deer bones and carcasses and God knows what else. So these dogs always find a way to survive. They're very clever. But there's no sightings of the dog, so which is a bit weird. I would expect to see some reports of some sightings, but we haven't had that yet. So that's the only thing. So that's really what I'm going up for. I'm trying to... Stella! There's a dead bird there, I don't want that going. Oh, It's not dead. I thought it was dead. It's resting. It's either that or not very well. So that's what I'm really going up for, is trying to pick some sightings of this dog. Dogs, when they go into survival mode, they won't come near you. So there's no point me trying to track it down, but it'd be nice if I could actually get a sighting so I could tell the family, and then even if I can't help any longer, then at least they know it's alive and they know the area to look. But we do need a sighting, to be honest. Otherwise it's just like a needle in a haystack again. I've got a drone, I've got my dogs, and you see what they're like. I mean, if there's anything around, they'll find it. I'm back. Didn't want to film facing someone's house. I never like doing that. I feel like you're invading the privacy like as such. So yeah, try and get some sightings of this dog and report it to the owner, and then they can kind of lay food out for it, or maybe find a cage to trap it or something like that. I don't know. Dog eventually will come to them if they. It's about patience. With a dog in survival mode, it can take weeks to get it to actually come back to you. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see what happens. But we're getting near the tent. It's just on the other side of this bridge. So I've walked about 100 metres, if that, from the car. But there's a spot just above, the woods, just above the car park, but that gets so busy that there's with people in and out, even in the early hours, with people in camper vans or something. So I didn't want to do anything like that. It's too near. So I remember this spot that I've seen many a person pitched on. It's quite isolated. It's quite nice. It's very quiet. And obviously it's near a river, so that's good for water. And probably get the early traffic, you know, like, I don't know if they get a milkman or delivery drivers or anything like that in the early morning. Maybe some of the workers on the estate, but nothing too serious that's going to keep you up all night or keep. I mean, I've been chatting to you and there's nothing come along, has there? But yeah, looking a bit grey, but so far it's holding off, and that's what I want. The whole reason again pitching here is because I got that use of the hut tomorrow. I'm using the tent at the moment for today, but I can drop the tent back in the car, so I don't want to carry loads of gear to the hut if I'm going to be stuck at the hut for 24 hours, because I think that's what's going to happen. There's a tent, the Robbins Challenger 3XE. Looks massive, doesn't it? From at this height it looks really big. So little squidgy spot there. Right, I better settle them down and put you away. Nearly 8 o'clock. The monsters are sleeping. It's nice. It's a perfect evening, to be honest. There's a bit of a breeze out. I've taken the inner as such and just left the mesh. It's blowing a nice draft in. So it's cooling the tent down. Much better than the tent I was using on the last search site. What was it? Cairngorm 300 or whatever. Pranger. This is the Robbins Challenger 3XE. I've always liked this tent. It goes up really well, but there's a but to that. I got it all twisted. Last time I used this tent was, if you were watching on, God, when was it? Got to be over nearly 2 years ago, and we got caught. It was a lovely evening, about 13, 14 degrees, sunny, and the next day, the morning, there was like, not blizzard, but snow showers and crazy winds. It was sometime, I'm guessing, January or February one year, and I haven't set it up in the house since, or, you know, in the garden. and the lines were all twisted. So when I was putting it up tonight, which I thought would be a doddle, I was finding it stressful because I couldn't untangle the things, and I'd been driving all day and I was tired and everything was going wrong. But it's a good tent. It was just the owner's a bit of an idiot. But I like that. And you can do the same with that side. So if I wanted to, I could tie up the inners as such and just have the mesh, plenty of airflow. And you've got a constant airflow from above. But obviously you don't want that facing the wind, because if it starts raining, it'll blow rain through. On that side, you've got an unzippable one, but sadly, they didn't put mesh on it. And that's a real stupid mistake they made. But it's like a cabin area where you can stow your backpack and dog packs and things like that. So if you utilise all the space around the tent, you've got quite a bit of space. This one's got a bigger porch, I believe. Maybe they've both got the same size and I've not used. So this is the thing, I haven't really used this tent. I should use it more. It weighs about £6 with the added footprint, but it's well worth it. And it cost peanuts when I got it. Again, the floor footprint is 10,000 millimeter rated, and I believe the floor sheet is 6,000 millimeter hydrostatic head, or whatever they call it. Oh, sorry, I got Stella leaning against my arm. So it's well waterproof, or should be. But again, you've got to think of ventilation for condensation, but you get condensation in any tent. I like it. I think it ticks all the boxes. It's quick to set up, as I say, if you don't get all your lines in a tangle and make mistakes, which I did because I was faffing about. But normally it sets up really quick. I've set this up before in seconds. And 2 poles, plate of guy outs, sturdy, strong. I think they rate it at something like 105 mile per hour winds, but trust me, I won't be out in any winds them speeds. So in theory it should. The only negative is I'm lying here, so when we have to go in and out, I'm going to have the dogs climbing over my bed. So that's the problem. I'm going to have to lift the bed up and get them in, and get them out, without them walking across my bed and puncturing it. Got some midges in, but for the time of year, considering I was here only about 7-8 days ago, but in the Kinglass area, and I was covered in midges. So it just shows no 2 weeks are the same, are they? As I say, there's predicting a lot of rain for tomorrow. When I was telling the person that lost a dog, I says, I'll come up, I'm going to book a hut and use that as a backup just in case. So even in the worst case scenario, if we can't pitch in anywhere around Steel Falls, more or less to the east of the falls, out the way as such, because it is a kind of touristy spot. But if we can't pitch, then at least we can shoot up. It's only about 40 miles each way. So we can do the best we can. And I've got a drone, as I say, if the weather holds off, then I can get a drone up. And they have had drones up near the falls area, but I don't think many people have gone to the east or pushed away from the falls. So the dog could have strayed, you see. It's been 4 weeks, so the dog can cover quite a bit of distance. I wouldn't think the dog would stay in one spot for long. I mean, not only my personal belief, but I think it'll get bored. You know, it's in survival mode. It's probably a bit stressed, panicky. So it's always going to be on the move. It's like, what is it? Fight or flight, they say. So I think if it feels if it's sitting in one spot, then it's a target, do you know what I mean? Whereas if it's always on the constant move, it could be going up and down the river. But we won't know. The only thing that concerns me is no sightings. And I know some people say, well, maybe it ended up in the river and sadly, you know, drowned or something. But after 4 weeks, nothing's popped up. So again, you would expect something to pop up, wouldn't you? So nothing's popped up anywhere. So my biggest concern is that it's backtracked and there's 2 car parks not far from Steel Falls where you walked from to get to see the views and all that. My biggest fear is that it's backtracked towards one of the car parks. Someone's seen the dog, collected the dog with the intentions of handing it in, but then fell in love with the dog. You know what I mean? It's got attached to it and hasn't seen the appeals that have been put out. They've been on the TV, on the press, everywhere, on social media, everything. So, but you know, in this day and age, it's very easy. Some people don't use all that, do they? So, and it is a touristy spot, so someone could have found the dog and be from another part of the country. You know what I mean? So that's my biggest fear. That we're all searching for a dog that's not there because someone found it. Hopefully they will eventually see something advertised and hand the dog in if that's true. Right, I've got to settle down for the night now. It's cooling down lovely. And then I can drop this, you see, and get us nice and snug. If we get too warm, I can always bring it up. Right, see you in the morning.